Kindly recall the discussion we are making on RTP of November 2023, and we have solved up to question number 5. Now we will take up on to the next question, question number 6. One, two, three, four, five, 6. Now we are taking up on to 6. On 1st of January, 1st of July, one moment, let me just find out, somebody else is waiting. Yes. On 1st of July 2010, Mr. X invested 50,000 at initial offer in mutual funds at a face value of rupees 10 per unit. On 31/3/2011, a dividend was paid at the rate of 10% and annualized yield was 120%. On 31st of March 20X2, that is 12, 20% dividend and capital gain of 60 paisa per unit was given. X redeemed all his 6271.98 units when his annualized yield was 71.50%. Over the period of holding, calculate NAV on 31/3/X1, that is 11, 12 and 13. Note, for calculation, consider a year of 12 months. See, now let us just understand what exactly was the question before us. It is always good that we have some time frame. Question number 6. Mutual funds. So the investment was made on 1/7/10. 31/3/11. 31/3/12. 31/3/13. This is a period of 9 months and this is a period of 12 months and this is a period of 12 months. So here they have mentioned that they got 120% yield. And
Annualized yield.
Annualized. %71.5% annualized. Here, they have not mentioned anything about that. Rather, they have mentioned about 20% dividend and capital gain. Capital gain of 60 paisa per unit was given. When he started with the activity was 50,000 rupees or 5,000 units. When he disposed of, it is 6271.98. 6271.98 units. So for the first 9 months, they have declared a dividend of 10%. And here 20% they declared. No dividend was declared in this period. These are the relevant matters that we have taken up. So now let me just start the work. Now the question is that when 5,000 units were there on 1st of July 10, how by 31st of March EX3 that is 13, he could have 6271.98 units. So this had just become this much would mean the dividends were not provided in the form of cash. Instead, the dividends were allotted with additional units. That is what we have got to understand, because no other transaction they have said they have done. So the question what they have asked is that what would be the NAV for these 3 dates? NAV. NAV. So now we have just broadly taken all the inputs and we have concluded that in lieu of cash dividend, they were allotted with additional units. So now let us just take up 31.3x1. Yield is equal to income divided by investment into 12 divided by n into 100. When they mention this as 120, income divided by investment, that being 50,000, into 12 divided by 9, because this is for 9 months, into 100. So 120 divided by 100 into 9 by 12 into 50,000 equal to income. The question is not on income, but we will take that as the base to find out what could be the NAV. 50,000 into 9 by 12 into 1.2. So income is equal to 45,000 rupees. ₹45,000. How one can arrive at the income of 45,000 that way? Income is equal to, normally it could be a dividend plus appreciation. So dividend is not declared in the form of cash, so it should be in the form of appreciation. So 45,000 equal to the number of items that they have invested would be the 5,000 units. This being 5,000 units plus the N, the number of units that they will be getting into NAV minus 50,000 rupees. How do we arrive at this 5,000 plus N? How do we arrive at this N? N is arrived at in this fashion where it is dividend that got declared during that period being 10%. 10% on 50,000 divided by NAV into NAV minus 50,000. Are you understanding? So 5,000 units that got allotted initially plus 5,000 rupees that the dividend got credited in the form of units. How many number of units that we do not know, that being N. So 5,000 divided by NAV at the end into, say now this bracket after closure, it becomes what? After the closure, it becomes total number of units into NAV. the closing NAV, the closing value of investment minus opening value of investment. Now let us just take up this minus 50,000 will become 95,000 on the left hand side. 95,000 plus 5,000 units plus 5,000 divided by NAV into NAV. Now this will become 95,000 equal to 5,000 NAV plus NAV will get cancelled. So it is going to be 5,000. So now it will become 90,000 equal to 5,000 NAV. So NAV is equal to 90,000 divided by 5,000.
18.
90,000 divided by
18.
5,000 rupees 18. Now the first stage of the solution, firstly, let us just check up whether it is 18. They have not mentioned it as 18 anywhere, but 18 is what we have got to take it up.
Mention பண்ணிருக்கா. Second
So
line,
it is 18.
third line.
It is 18. Say they have just brought out an assumption and they have worked. That assumption is basically against the understanding. So therefore, I am not proceeding. I am not commenting the way in which they have just done. I feel like that they need not have just done like that, but let us just take it up to that stage. Next one, 20% dividend and capital gain of 60 paisa per unit was given. See, now you can understand how much is the number of units that they have provided. So number of units given shall be 5,000 rupees divided by 18. It comes to 277.78 units. Say now, you can consider that from here to here, from 1710 to 31,311 with 5,277.78 had become 5,277.78. Correct? Now, you know that 20% dividend was declared. By 31,312. Now, opening units would be 5,277.78 units. In terms of face value, 52,777 or 78 rupees rounded off. Percentage of dividend 20%. Amount of dividend is 10,556. So when there was no dividend that they have declared, during the last portion, no dividend was declared. It was mentioned that no dividend was declared. So now that you know that it is 6,000 271.98 with no dividend where it is nil. So this figure should have been 6,271.98. So how much is the addition they got during the period 11-12? The difference between the two, right? 6,271.98 minus 5,277.78. So that comes to 994.20 units. Correct? Amount of dividend what they have given as number of units being 994.20. Correct? Say yes or no. So with that, NAV for 31,312, NAV on 31,311, we got it at 18. So how much is that you find the NAV? Which is equal to, let me just check up whether they have made adjustment for dividend. Dividend, I have taken it up as separate cash because capital gain of 0.6 was given. Let me just check up whether they have just done that. So they have not done like that. So they have taken up dividend, there is capital gain also in that particular form. Amount of dividend, then comes capital gain of 60 paisa for 5,277.78. How much it comes to? So therefore, no cash was given for any unit. 0.6 into 5,277.78. It is coming out to 3,167. So the total income in that particular year would be 13,723 number of additional units. Number of additional units being 994.20. And the NAV on 31,312 would mean 13,723 divided by 994.2. That comes to 13.80. So here they have assumed that capital gains also they have not distributed in the form of cash, but that is not the way they have provided. So if you look into the question, that is not the way you can understand things, but that is the way they have taken it in their computation. Here they have said capital gain of 60 paisa per unit was given is what they have given. So given may be in the form of additional units. So that is what we have got to understand. So this is something I would consider as a novel idea to confuse students community. So please be careful with that. Now let us just take up for the last one. Mr. X redeemed all his 6271 and annualized yield being 71.50. So now let us just take up 31,313. So where it is 71.50. 71.50 equal to closing investment minus opening investment, that being the income, divided by investment into 12 divided by how many months lapsed? The total period 12 plus 12 plus 9, 24 plus 9, 33 months. Here we have got to take up 33 into 100. So now let us just have a closer look at these numbers and make it out a little fine. 71.50 closing investment is equal to 6,278. 6,271.98 into NAV at the end. Minus opening investment that you have kept, that being 50,000, the whole divided by 50,000 into 12 divided by 33 into 100. So this figure has got even the capital gains computation also included there. Now let us just put it out here. 50,000 into 33 divided by 12 into 71.50 divided by 100 equal to 6271.98 NAV minus 50,000. Correct? So now let us just take up this computation. 50,000 into 33 divided by 12 into 0.715, which you get as 98,312.50 equal to 6271.98 NAV minus 50,000. So that you take it up 148,312.50 equal to 6271.98 NAV. So NAV is equal to 148,312.50 divided by 6271.98.
$23.65.
Which is equal to 23.65. We will run to the solution and check it up. $23.65. So the matter is over, and market order is very important. Go with good preparation. Repeat this 2-3 times before you take up the main examination. Market order is very important. Not that it is very difficult, because it involves too much of computation. So therefore you got to be running carefully with all the limitations there. Derivative analysis and valuation. See, it requires some amount of introduction before we could just take up. For me, there is no problem. Whereas I would like to handle it a little after some introduction. So our friend was just talking about, sir, he has finished his IFM. So therefore, I thought if there were to be anything on IFM, we will just take it up. See, our friend is just requested me to handle that point of time. So when IFM is just handled. The following table shows, now we will take up on to Forex exposure and risk management. The following table shows interest rates for the United States dollar and French franc. The spot exchange rate is 7.05 franc per dollar. Complete the missing entries. Okay. Now let us just take up this for computation. See, they have given it for 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. Dollar interest rates they have given are all annually compounded. 11.5% and 19.5% annually compounded. So what is the forward franc per dollar and forward discount per franc? Say number 1, spot is $1 equal to 7.05 French franc. Dollar annually compounded 11.5%. So 3 months later, it will be $1 into 1 plus 0.115 divided by 12 multiplied by 3 equal to 7.05 into 1 plus 19.5%, 0.195 divided by 12 into 3. $1 equal to, now let us just take up 0.115 divided by 4. $1 multiplied by 1.02875 equal to 7.05 into 0.195 divided by 4. 1.04875. So $1 equal to 7.05 multiplied by 1.04875 divided by 1.02875. Into 7.05. So that comes to $1 equal to 7.1871 French franc. So this is what we will update for this particular portion. For this particular portion, forward franc per dollar 3 months later is going to be 7.1871. Forward discount per franc per annum. So though they have just asked forward discount per franc, so this might have some amount of implication because the quotation is for $1, but the question what they have asked is that forward discount per franc. So spot 1 French franc is equal to 1 divided by 7.05. So 1 divided by 7.05 working out to $0.1418. So 3 months forward is going to be 1 French franc equal to 1 divided by 7.1871. 1 divided by 7.1871, which is equal to 0.1391. So, okay. So now you should understand that the question is not about forward premium per dollar. The question is not about that. The question is about forward discount per franc. The question is very clear. Sometimes people might overlook and get into troubles. Correct. So this is number 1. Then number 2, computation comes this way. Forward discount in annualized percentage. In annualized percentage is equal to forward rate minus spot rate divided by spot rate into 12 divided by n into 100. Forward rate of 0.1391 minus 0.1418 divided by 0.13, sorry, 1418 into 12 divided by 3 into 100. Now let us use the calculator. 0.1391 minus 0.1418 divided by 0.1418 into 400. That should give me a number of 7.6164% discount. Always remember that discount of this percentage will not give me this much of premium for dollar. See, though they have not asked this question, let me just put it this way. Forward premium per dollar, when you ask, it will not give you the same thing. Remember on the other day when we have worked out, so 5% depreciation of one currency is not 5% depreciation of the opposite currency. Remember that problem that we have worked out. Same way I am going to demonstrate to you that 7.6164% discount of franc will not give you 7.6164 premium for the other currency. So it is going to be 7.1871 minus 7.05 divided by 7.05 into 12 divided by n into 100, that being 3 into 100. So by doing so, how do we get this number? 7.1871 minus 7.05 divided by 7.05 into 400. That is giving you 7.7787%. Now you can see that premium of one currency is having a different percentage when compared to discount of the opposite currency. Always remember this. Always remember this. Always remember this very important point. But many a times people just take it for granted. From where they get the coaching that we do not know. But they take one premium 5% means other person discount 5% is what they conclude. Where they just go, no textbook is there. Even in the textbook also they have committed mistake. Institute committed mistake. Now 3 months working got over. Now 6 months working we got to take up. So 6 months working, how it is to be taken up? It is 12.25% and 6.3%. Now let us just know about us how we are taking it up. So forward discount per franc a percentage per annum 6.3. See, now from here we will be in a position to arrive at what is that? Spot is $1 equal to 7.05 French franc, or 1 French franc is equal to $0.1418. So this is what we have got to basically understand. Correct. So 6 months forward rate, 6 months forward rate is unknown, question mark. So by then forward 1 French franc, that point of time we do not know. But we know pretty well that discount is 6.3%. What is the formula that we have? The formula is that forward rate minus the spot rate of 0.1418 divided by 0.1418 multiplied by 12 into 6 into 100. So this number is 6.3%. Say, to make that point a little clearer, I have put a negative sign before that. See, even in the last computation, we have ended up with only negative, but when we are writing, we will not put negative percentage and say discount. So we will ignore the sign, but we will describe it as discount. So in this particular case, they have mentioned so clearly in the problem that it is only a discount. for computation purposes, nobody will come and instruct you that it should be put in the negative. So you got to be very careful. You have to be very alert. So you are scripting your success. Therefore, nobody will care for you. So you should only care for you. So the other person who can care for you is only the faculty member, because these are the places where people go wrong. Maybe the care, even your life partner or your parents and friends, they can only pity you for the mistakes that you are committing. Let me tell you, these are the places where people commit the mistakes. So please be careful. So put that negative sign without fail. Now, let us just take up, because after all, when computation is on, we will forget the basics. So therefore, you should also be remembering the basics when you are doing the computation. Now let us just put it this way: 0.1418 into 6 divided by 12 into minus 6.3 divided by 100 equal to FR minus 0.1418. Now let us just take up 0.1418 into 6 divided by 12 into 6.3 divided by 100. That should give you this number as 0.0044667 equal to FR minus 0.1418. This is in the negative, so you got to be very careful. Now take it to the other side. 0.1418 minus 0.0044667 equal to FR plus 0.1418. So FR, forward rate, is equal to 0.1373. So we have updated the forward franc as 1.13173. That is, one French franc equal to this much. So whereas the question what they have asked is forward franc per dollar. You have got to be very careful. Am I right? So therefore it is $1 equal to 1 divided by 0.1373. So 1 divided by 0.1373 would mean this number comes to French franc 7.2833. Are you understanding? I will take a short break. There is one visitor. I have to say hi and come. Okay. One moment. So this is the way you are expected to operate. These are the limitations that we have. You got to note what question that they are asking, answer only to that question. So you don't answer what you like and expect the institute to award you marks. Not like that. You got to be very careful. So now we have updated this. Having worked out the forward franc per dollar, we should know what interest rate francs had, and dollar rate is 12.25%. Now let us just take up $1 equal to 7.05 French franc. Dollar at 12.25. $1 6 months later. $1 into 1 plus 12.25 0.1225 divided by 12 into 6. equal to 7.05 into 1 plus R divided by 12 into 6. I do not know what is it R. So 0.1225 divided by 2, that comes to this way. $1 into 1.06125 equal to 7.05 into 1 plus 0.5 R. So $1 equal to 7.05 into 1 plus 0.5 R divided by 1.06125. This is equation number 1. Equation number 2 for the same point of time, which is equal to 7.2833. Equation number 2. Now I understand left hand side of 1 and 2 are same. Correct? Left hand side of 1 and 2 are the same. Therefore, what is the conclusion? RHS for 1 and 2 should also be same. Should also be the same. So 7.2833 equal to 7.05 into 1.05 R. Actually, it is 1 plus 0.5 R divided by 1.06125. Now let us just take up 7.2833 into 1.06125 divided by 7.05 equal to 1 plus 0.5 R. Now let us just compute 7.2833 into 1.06125 divided by 7.05. That comes to 1.09637 equal to 1 plus 0.5 R. So 1 and 1 will get cancelled. Now it is 0.5 R equal to 0.09637. R is equal to 0.09637 divided by 0.5. Into 100, that gives you R as 19.27%. Correct? See, now you need to be understanding the concept as well as computationally you should be agile. You can't be telling I just lost, I did not like mathematics. I just studied mathematics long time back. No complaints. You can't tell anything because all are chartered accountants. At the end of the day, it is like that. Next one, forward franc per dollar, they've given 7.520. They have given you the franc, there is franc rate, and you are expected to find out dollar rate. Like how we have just done just few minutes back for the latest working, that is the way we have got to do. This is for 1 year, where they have given you spot $1 equal to 7.05 French franc. And forward franc per dollar 7.52. 1 year later, 7.52 French franc. So $1 into 1 plus R, that's all. 12 by 12 equal to 7.05 into 1 plus 0.20. So it comes to $1 equal to 7.05 into 1.2 divided by 1 plus R. This is equation number 1. $1 equal to 7.52 is equation number 2. Same way what we have written, left hand side of both are same, right hand side should also be same. So 7.52 equal to 7.05 into 1.2 divided by 1 plus R. 1 plus R equal to 7.05 into 1.2 divided by 7.52. 7.05 into 1.2 divided by 7.52, which is equal to 1 plus R equal to 1.125. R is equal to 12.5%. Are you understanding? How come? 1 getting cancelled, R equal to 0.125, which is equal to 12.5%. Are you understanding this? Now, we do have one more question. Forward discount per franc. So here we can work out that like how we did in the initial stage. Spot $1 equal to 7.05. 1 year later, $1 equal to 7.52. So 1 French franc equal to 1 divided by 7.05. How much it comes to? $0.1418. Similarly, 1 French franc equal to 1 divided by 7.52. That comes to 0.1330. So now let us just find out the discount in annualized percentage. In annualized percentage, it comes to 0.1330 minus 0.1418 divided by 0.1418 into 12 divided by 12 into 100. Point 1330 minus 0.1418 divided by 0.1418. When I take it up, it comes to 6.21%. Correct. 6.21%. So this is what you got to understand. What question that they asked, you got to know. Whether it is a forward discount or a forward premium, that you have got to understand for which currency you have got to do, that we have got to complete it. You know, when you are expressing, there is no problem at all. So the first one, 7.19. This is what they have put it out as 7.19. What we have got as 7.1871, they have given it as 7.19. Discount. Discount 7.04%. They have rounded off in many places and they got the number. See, forward discount interest rate differential is what they are telling. Actually, interest rate differential will not exactly match. What they have done is not an appropriate way of doing things, and where they are rounding it off only to 3 decimals and working it out like this. So because of the approximation, 7.04 is what we are getting it out accurately, 7.6164. So please just don't worry about all that. See, institute might just do with lot of alternative answers. So then 6 months later, 7.28 francs. Remember that. And the discount, once again, they do some shortcut and they are bringing out as R as 19.17%. Let me just check up that because of the rounding off, it is coming to 19.27. Our answer is accurate. Then you see it is 12.5%. We have just got it. And 20%. 12.5%. So here they are mentioning about 6.21. See, some zigzag thing had happened. 6.3 should come here. Correct. See, when they have printed out, they have not copied from their Excel properly when they have converted everything. So this should come there. Because there should be 4 items. No, this 4th item had just come here. This jumped here. But anyway, that is what we can understand. And for this weekend on SFM, we could just do only to the extent of 2 problems. I knew that is the reason as why when I take up derivative and valuation, and when I just take into account the forex, we will be overstepping. So therefore, at this moment, we are closing for SFM. Which one? Question number 8 problem, we have done it in the classroom. So you may just check up with the video. Okay. So with that, I will stop recording for SFM.